Hi, in this video, we're going to get some practice with finding the sine, cosine, and tangent ratios. Okay, so in the last video, we learned how to actually find the sine, cosine, and tangent. So in this video, we're going to get some practice with triangles. Okay, so in this exercise, let's note that we're given that RQ, that RP is actually 15 and PQ is actually 17, and then RQ is actually 8. Okay, so these are my ratios or my side lengths for each of the triangles. Okay, for each of the sides of the right triangle. Okay, so how do we find the sine of P? Remember that we want to go to the angle and pretend like we're standing at it. And to find the sine, it's opposite. So we want to look across the angle. And what we see is that we see RQ. And then we see the hypotenuse, which is PQ in this case. And both of these have values. So we're going to use the value of 8 over 17. Okay, and then we could actually put that into our calculator and find it, or you should have a sine function in your calculator. So let me pull up my calculator. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in 8 divided by 17. Okay, so therefore that the sine of P is actually going to be equal to, or that ratio, I lost it, is going to be equal to we could say 0.47. Okay, we can say 0.47. So we can change that to a decimal. And it's okay to have a decimal in this case. All right, and then let's look for the tangent of P. Well, how do we find the tangent? Well, we learned that the tangent did not deal with the hypotenuse. Remember that it was the two opposite, or the two legs. So we're finding the tangent of point P. Okay, so we're looking at P. If we go from P and we look at opposite, remember that tangent is opposite over adjacent. So in this case, we're going to use the ratio 8 over the adjacent, which is 15. Well, if we plug that into our calculator, we get 8 divided by 15. And sometimes you also may see it left as a fraction. But 8 divided by 15 in this case is 0.53. Okay, so 0.53 is our ratio. And now we want to find the cosine of Q. Okay, the cosine of Q would be, we're going to go to angle Q, and we're going to look across to find, or actually, no, we're not going to look across. This is cosine. So remember that cosine deals with the adjacent angle, and the adjacent angle in this case is RQ, which is 8. And then we're going to compare that to the hypotenuse, which is 17. So when we get that, remember that the sine of one angle is equal to the cosine of the other angle. So therefore, if we take that 8:17 ratio again and divide it in the calculator, we'll get 0.47. Okay, so I want you to go ahead and do the cosine of P, the sine of Q, and the tangent of Q. So you can pause the video and work those out yourself, and then we'll come back and see if you got the right answers. Okay, so you should be finished by now, and you should get 15 over 17 for the cosine of P, and then for the sine of Q, 15 over 17. And both of those come out to be 0.88. And then the tangent, of course, will be the angle opposite Q, which is 15 over, the side opposite angle Q, which is 15 over the side, which is adjacent to angle Q, which is 8. And so that would give you 1.875. Okay, so I hope these videos have helped. Tune into the next video and we will look at how to find the angle when given the sine ratio. So we're going to use the inverse. Okay, thank you.